guys, this is take number 2 because the app I was using before stops recording after 5 minutes. So we're going to try this again. Okay, so this is going to be about how I got pregnant with Amelia. I'm going to start at the beginning and kind of walk through it. So when I first started thinking about being a single mom by choice, I started watching YouTube videos, which is probably what almost everybody else does. So I had always seen that the women would go to reproductive endocrinologist. That's just where you start. So that's what I did. I scheduled an appointment, had a consult. They did blood work, and they scheduled me for an HSG and a site consult. I did the HSG. It was pretty painful. I mean, it wasn't the worst pain I've ever had, but it wasn't pretty either. And the site consult, it wasn't bad. It was just, you know, going over how you're going to tell your child that they're donor conceived and if you're ready for it. And it's not because anyone thinks you're crazy or you can't do it. They just want to make sure that your mindset is there. So I did that, and I have notes, so if I keep looking down, that's why. So I also need a letter from my gastroenterologist because I have a fatty tumor on my liver. So I needed a letter from him saying that it was okay for me to start, trying to conceive. And I went to him and I explained everything, and he wasn't exactly thrilled, but if I were to get pregnant the normal way, then he's not going to be able to do anything about it anyway. So he agreed to write the letter. In the meantime, the fertility clinic gave me a list of sperm banks that they use. So I had been kind of, going on the websites and looking around and seeing, what the filters were. And I'm not going to go into the sperm donor I used or my process for picking the sperm donor, at least not on this video. I can imagine that some people get a lot of hate for the way that they choose a sperm donor, so I don't really want to go into that. Maybe I'll do that in another video if I can figure out a way to do it so I don't get any hate about it. So I was given the list, looked through all of the sperm banks and, the Seattle Sperm Bank, California Cryo, all of the Fairfax, all of the usual suspects. And I was originally given one list, but then I couldn't find it, so I went online to their website to look and see if they had another list on there, and they did. So I started, I printed that out and started using that one. Well, come to find out that list that they had on their website was outdated. The one they'd given me was more updated. But in that time, I had found a sperm bank that I really liked and a donor on that sperm bank that I really liked. But because it was an outdated list, they didn't work with that sperm bank anymore. So I couldn't use it anymore. So when I went in for my consult with the reproductive endocrinologist, it was an APRN, she did a pap smear or something similar to that there, but you can't use that as your annual pap smear, so I had to go to my regular OBGYN to have a pap done. And so, I went in and I told her what I was planning to do, and, she's like, well, why don't you just come here and do it? Because I didn't know I could do that. So, and if I went with my OBGYN, I could use any sperm bank I wanted. So that was definitely a plus. I had all my information forwarded to the office, and I had to set up a consultation for thank you. I had to set up a consultation with my OBGYN. Sorry, I lost my place. I had to set an appointment up with my OBGYN for the consult to do it, and then that was on my birthday, February 5th, for anybody out there. February 5th is my birthday. I did my consult that day, and she said that I could go through and do IUI. So I won't get into the first 2 cycles, because obviously the first two cycles didn't work. But the 3rd cycle is the one where I got my little one. I would use OPKs, and I charted the very last day when I got my high. I checked. I was doing it like every hour, and then probably can't. There we go. This one right here is my pregnancy test, and this one right here is the peak that I got. So once I got my peak, I called my OBGYN and told them, and they had me come in for my insemination at 2:30 the next day. And because the first 2 I only did 1 insemination, I wanted to do 2. So I came in the day after my peak. I went in and had my insemination done, and then the following day I had one done at 11:30. And let's see, where did my notes go? Yeah, and I got my positive. Let's see, where is that page? Got my positive at 1 a.m. on 4/29/19. When I work from home, and I had taken a pregnancy test just because, and I'd been taking them for the last couple of days, and they were always negative. So the one that I took, I dipped it in the urine, put it down, and went back to work. And I was working, I think I worked till like 11:30. And I happened at 11:30 to look down at the pregnancy test, and I swear I saw a line. So I had to, I picked it up and looked closer, and there was a line. It was so faint, so faint. You could barely see. I'll have to put a picture in because you could barely see it, but it was there. There was a very faint line. So I clocked out of work, and I had to go to 2 different stores to find a pregnancy test. The first, I went to Price Chopper. Do you know Price Chopper doesn't sell pregnancy tests? That is the strangest thing ever. I walked around for like 10 minutes, and they did not have a single pregnancy test in there. So I had to go to, there's a 24-hour CVS down the road from Price Chopper. So I had to go to CVS to get a pregnancy test. And then, of course, I stood there trying to decide which pregnancy test I wanted to buy. So I took the pregnancy test. I bought the pregnancy test, came home, took the pregnancy test, and it was positive. It was a light line, but it was there. And I had convinced myself that I wasn't pregnant. So I was very excited. I even woke my friend up. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning when I woke her up and shoved a pregnancy test in her face. And she woke up and she was so happy. I was so happy. Now I have my little pumpkin. Right? Are you my little pumpkin? Yeah. So that's the story of how I got my little Amelia. If you guys have any questions? Oh, wait. So I brought in all of my stuff that I use. All of my OPKs. So this is what I keep in the bathroom. It's just it's got stuff in it. I mean, it is this, but it's got stuff in it. So I got little plastic cups to pee in because why not? I mean, I think they were like $5 for like 200 of these. I'll link it below. Cups, and then, so I went a little crazy. My HSA covers like fertility tests and pregnancy tests and all that kind of stuff. So I went and bought the connected. This thing's $80. I'm not gonna say I don't recommend it, but if you don't have the $80 to spend, don't worry about it. I have this, and then I have these, and these are a pain in the butt to open every single time, so I kind of just open 5 at a time and put them in this box. See, they're open. And then I have these in here as well, opened out of the package already, because it drives me crazy to have to try and sit there and open a package while, you know, pee is sitting on the counter. So I have all this stuff stuffed in here, and this stays in the cabinet in the bathroom so that I can use it. But I bought a 50 box of these. The next time I buy it, I'm probably going to buy pregnancy tests too, just because I don't have any. Alright, I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say right now. Yeah. Alright, if you guys have any questions, you know where to find me.